welcome back to the Daily Jazz with Yazz. Today's topic, I'm going to be talking about relationships. Now, relationships are a pretty sensitive topic because the way relationships work nowadays, not nowadays, just forever. People's opinions aren't valued, or they are valued, but you only take out what you want from that relationship or from that advice. Now, the biggest problem in relationships is we're constantly torn between treat others how we want to be treated or treat others how they treat you. You don't know which way to go ever. No one ever knows. So, we're receiving, say, hey, he's treating me this way, I'm going to treat him that way. Instead of, realizing that we're often too busy worried about how somebody else treats us that we don't really look at how we're treating them. And honestly, the situation usually fixes itself when we treat somebody with love and respect. And then guess what? They reciprocate it right back. And people really think that this is about being the bigger person, and it's honestly not. Because we're not in a relationship to be the bigger person. We're in a relationship because we want to build and grow with that person. We're in a relationship because we see a future with that person. We're not in a relationship because it's just to pass the time. Hey, I'm bored, I'm going to jump in this 5-year relationship real quick. And honestly, it's about, like I said, building and growing together. So that means that you should not add to the fire. If somebody is mad, leave them alone, give them their space. Don't keep saying things and, picking at them until they become furious and enraged and, they just want to strangle you. It's always about putting out the fire, which is giving them space. And honestly, if somebody doesn't give back to, what you are giving them, then hey, at least you know that you gave it your all. You did everything that you could, so they can never say, oh, you didn't give me this, you didn't treat me this way, you did it, You know that you gave it your all. You were in it to win it, and it didn't work. Some people just don't appreciate things. That's just how the cookie crumbles sometimes, and people stop. But that doesn't mean that anything is wrong with you. It doesn't mean that you did anything wrong. It doesn't mean, that you're a terrible person and nobody's going to love you. It just means that wasn't your match. It's okay to let go of relationships, and a lot of people feel like it's not. It honestly hurts more to hold on to something that isn't there anymore than to just let it go and be free and live your life. I have noticed is that often people stress the could-haves. Which is why, people get back with their ex so often. Like, they break up, they get back, they break up, they get back, and it's just this never-ending cycle of torment. It's just a disaster. Usually it never works out. If it doesn't work, the first, second, third time, it's never going to work out. You just need to stop. And honestly, when the could-haves play in this role is that people feel like, oh, they look into the future and they see like, oh, well, we could have had this house. We could have had kids by now. We could be rich. But honestly, you shouldn't be thinking about that. If it didn't work out, cool, it's fine. It's not the end of the world. It's not the end of the world. If it should have, it would have. It's just that simple. So now, what are the keys to a relationship? Let me tell you. Respect. Don't do or say anything that you wouldn't want your partner to do or say. Always put yourself in their shoes. Whether it's, sneaking out after work. Would you be upset if your partner did that to you? If you do it, cool, don't do it. If you wouldn't, then, hey, there's nothing to hide, right? Shoot them a quick text. We're going out for beers. Love. Love is another key. You should always give attention and affection to your partner at all times. Everyone loves to feel wanted. You can never have enough of that. And honestly, if you're being, if you're giving all this attention and affection, there should be no sense of insecurities there because you're all in. They don't have to second guess at all. Communication. Now that's another key to relationships. You always want to talk your problems out with your partner. Like, don't ignore anything that bothers you. Because if you ignore it and you sweep it under the rug, you're just going to keep sweeping every problem that you feel is little. And guess what? When you finally explode, so many problems are going to come out. All those problems that you thought you tucked down, put away, they're all going to come out. And then it's going to be harder to find a resolution because there's going to be so many problems at once. And honestly, if your partner cares about you, they're not going to feel like you're bugging them. No, they're gonna see like, hey, they have a problem. Let's sit down and talk about this. Let's squash this right now. That way we can move on positive. And you always want to be open about yourself too. About, that ties in with communication. Whether it's about your dreams, your goals, your achievements, anything. You always want to share that stuff. Especially in the beginning of a relationship when you have your expectations. Everyone has their own expectations when it comes to a relationship. And you want to share that from the beginning. It doesn't have to be, completely notated and a completely laid out timeline of what you expect from this relationship. Like, by year 6, we're going to have this many kids. We're going to live in this house. No, it can just be a rough outline of what you expect from your partner and what they expect from you. That way, from the beginning, there was no miscommunication at all, like down the line, like, oh, well, I didn't think that you were going to want this, or I didn't know that you were going to be like this. No, lay it out on the table. If they like it, don't run with it. If they don't, turn the other way, close the door. Support. Support is another really big key. You always want to be there for your partner no matter what it is. If it's little or big, you always want to insert yourself at all time. Like, don't be a doormat. Don't just be a trophy and stand there and let somebody else walk in, because a lot of people do that. Like, their partner's going through something and they're just like, oh, well, they'll deal with it. Like, no, that's not the point of a relationship. A relationship is literally a full-time job. And a lot of people don't realize that. Like, it doesn't come easy. It really doesn't. It's work. You have to put in work. You have to put in the time, the effort, everything. You have to give it your all if you want a relationship to work. And honestly, another, key that people don't realize is prioritizing. When you're in a relationship with somebody, you have to prioritize. You have to get a handle on what's super important and what can wait. And it's honestly just on a scale, of what weighs out and what doesn't. So honestly, when it comes to relationships, I know everyone's relationship is different. Everyone's relationship is different. But everyone has the same keys to a relationship. So it's honestly just how you use them. If it doesn't work out, it's okay. New beginnings are often disguised as painful endings. Something to think about. So, this has been the Daily Jazz with Yazz. I hope you enjoyed this relationship advice. Stay tuned for more. Bye!